Albert Einstein said, I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited and imagination encircles the world. Hello friends, I am Renu, your host. Welcome to Astrology, channel of astrology, knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, enlightenment and self-realization. Today I started my talk with Albert Einstein quote because Albert Einstein has been called the most creative genius of the last century. He inspires creative thinking. Creativity brings a new beginning for time. When you are creative, you break monotony of time. Everything becomes fresh and alive. Creativity brings along with a new round of enthusiasm. The question arises here, what is the role of creativity in astrology? So what you say? Okay, let me answer. Creativity is related to our own fifth house. So today I am going to talk about the fifth house. House of creativity, house of fun, house of children, house of love and romance, house of drama, sports, media, cinema, intelligence, and many more important aspects of life. First, we see what type of properties fifth house has. According to Vedic astrology, fifth house is the Dharma Trine house. First, fifth, and ninth houses are Dharma Trine house. We also call it Panaparas or succedent of fourth house, which provide firmness, stability, and security to fourth house. Every house assigns four aims in life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. According to that, fifth house is the dharma house, and fifth house has to perform duty and purpose of life. Fifth house is ruled by Leo and its Lord Sun, whereas Sun is universal significator of our soul. Sun stands for truth and honor. The fifth house is a fire house and ruled by a fixed sign. The fifth house also deals with all that you create, including your children. This house represents progeny, your capability to have children, conception, miscarriage, relationship with your children, and their health, all are governed by fifth house. Raising your children, who are an extension of yourself. It is also a source of pleasure. That's why it's called Putra Bhav in Vedic astrology. It also represents your eldest child. Related to fifth house are your eldest child, second younger brother, third from third house, spouse of elder brother, seventh from 11th house, father's fortune, ninth from ninth house, gain from marriage, 11th from 7th house, and mother's wealth, second from 4th house, are signified by 5th house. The body part associated with the 5th house is stomach, the place in the body where we are nourished, fed, and from where we create everything. Feeling full, creative, and content with life is the 5th house, as shown by this body part. Jupiter is the main karka of the 5th house, as Jupiter shows things that grow and expand. Jupiter is also karka of children. Along with Jupiter, Mercury for intelligence and Venus for creativity are karka of 5th house. 5th house again a beginning of something new, something that we bring from various ways to the world and to ourselves. Whatever power is generated by the first four houses, the job of fifth house is to bring those powers in life. As earlier I referred, that fifth house is the house of creativity. It caters to innovation and expression. It signifies our mental intelligence and capability to create and innovate, bring novel ideas to old concepts. It is about personal pleasure rather than social pressure. All that gives you emotional satisfaction, a sense of fulfillment in life. Creativity is a word here, is everything. Literature, drawing, sculpture, story, poem, drama, fiction, non-fiction, and so on. The fifth house is signified by entertainment, movies, cinema, plays, sports, and playground. The fifth house is like finding your passion through self-expression. Here, the word comes creative intelligence. The fifth house indicates our creative intelligence, and it is our duty to express this intelligence as part of our divinity. Since the fifth house is the house of Dharma, the creative intelligence is the expression of our soul into world. Creative means everyone in different meaning. Example, for poor, having more children means they have many hands to earn. And for middle class, to push our generation forward, everybody have unique type of creative intelligence. Learning to express our unique creative intelligence requires education that serves to stimulate our intuitive knowledge and creative self. Therefore, the fifth house governs education. The expression of creative intelligence fully requires the development of the intuition. Intuition is developed through the practice of spiritual techniques and the study of sacred writings. The fifth house, therefore, rules mantra, shastra, knowledge of ancient scriptures, astrological books, and spirituality. The mantra, spiritual practice, and initiations are the most sacred aspect of the fifth house, from disease and good health, as it is 12th from to the sixth house of sickness and disease. In other words, fifth house negate sixth house matters. This house represents loss of job or new opportunity in job. It shows the transformation in career because fifth house is 8th from 10th house. The fifth house has been associated with gambling in any form. From gambling for love to taking risks in promoting artistic or financial enterprises. Such an association is valid whenever the gambler strictly follows his hunches or imagination to the pressure of an inner frustration. Thus, fifth house signifies investment, speculation, as well as stock market activities. Fifth house is the second of Dharma Trine. So, the very first thing is talks about is past life deeds. Everything related to relationship, love, and romance comes under the fifth house. The fifth house is important in modifying past karma so that new opportunities are helpful in the attainment of the final goal. If you want to be an astrologer, fifth house plays a vital role while giving consultation, as it is 10th from the house of occult, 8th house. Fight for your homeland, politics, minister, hoarded assets of the family are covered by fifth house. Benefic planets placement in the fifth house gives good results for the above significations, while malefic planets placement not so well in the fifth house. Placements of different planets and lords of different houses in the fifth house play a very crucial role to judge the entire well-being of the house. Below are the basic and general permutation and combinations as given in the text. If the fifth lord is placed in 12 different houses, this is at a very basic and mundane level. The actual impact can be judged when we combine the lord placement with the sign and planet placement. But from the basic comprehension aspect, This will be helpful to understand as we go along. So, this is not to be taken literally as full diagnosis is required. You also have to understand that these texts were written when our society and culture had much different values and norms. You have to be intelligent enough to interpret these according to today's time, place, and condition. These are just excerpts. We shall cover this in details. Let's discuss our different individuality according to placement of fifth house lord. The fifth lord in the first house. Native will be a scholar, be endowed with progenic happiness, be a miser, be crooked, and will steal others' wealth. Fifth lord in the second house. Native will have many sons and wealth, be a pater families, be honorable, be attached to his spouse, and be famous in the world. Fifth lord in the third house. Native will attach to his co-born, be a talebearer and a miser, and be always interested in his own work. Fifth lord in the fourth house. Native will be happy, endowed with maternal happiness, wealth and intelligence, and be a king or a minister or a preceptor. Fifth lord in the fifth house. Native will have progeny. If related to a benefic, there will be no issues. If malefic is related to Putra Lord, placed in Putra Bhav is not well. Putra's Lord in Putra Bhav will, however, make one virtuous and dear to friends. We practice the mantra and rituals. We maintain the good relationship with people. Our individuality express on good moral. Fifth Lord in sixth house. Caring personality. As sixth house stand for nursing, active, energetic, serve other people. Their interest shows on health matters, basically known for confident nature. Native will obtain such sons who will be equal to his enemies, or will lose them, or will acquire an adopted son. Fifth Lord in the seventh house. Native will be honorable, very religious, endowed with the progenic happiness, and be helpful to others. Fifth Lord in the eighth house. Native will not have much progenic happiness, we troubled by cough and pulmonary disorders, we given to anger, and we devoid of happiness. When we goes to secrecy, our individuality express our hidden talents. Occult science. Fifth lord in the ninth house, native will be a prince or equal to him, will author treatises, be famous, and will shine in his race. Fifth lord in 10th house, native will enjoy a Raj Yoga and various pleasures and be very famous. Fifth lord in the 11th house, native will be learned, dear to people, be an author of treatises, be very skillful, and be endowed with many sons and wealth. Fifth lord in 12th house, native will be bereft of happiness from his own sons. By now, you would have started to get an idea of what your fifth house means. Hold on, don't reach to conclusions. There are much more to come. In the next video, I shall take you through the sixth house. Stay tuned. Thank you. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.